and I'm going to switch my affiliation, and I'll reside in what I consider to be my house.
So you start off as a Democrat.
You're born in Pittsburgh, and you're black. You're a Democrat. It's
so
on
you
your,
were
it's on your
part of
birth
the dark
certificate.
side. You were part of the dark side,
Well,
the deception side, the side of darkness. And devastation to your community, and you made a conscious decision to be a righteous man of God and come to the right side. Is that correct?
You're phrasing that way. I'm glad I was in a court of law. I was in a court of law.
Right.
You left the dark side to come to the side of righteousness.
That's the thing about the Democratic Party.
They're losers.
I think they've won in 2008. So we can't call them losers per se. Do I think
what did they really win?
I think they won a lot of power.
The presidency.
The responsibility of spinning and putting our country in debt.
They have done some things, and we put ourselves in debt too. The thing is, the dark side in that regard is, I think they're misguided a lot of times. The Democrats are. Now the dark side of things is this. This is where I agree with that part of their statement. Is when they perpetually tell us that they're going to do things and nothing ever changes. We have to look at the fact that Democratic leadership has been in control over our cities for
that they're
6 to 7 years.
They're deceiving.
I'm not going to stereotype the whole group, but there have been some leaders that have been more inclined to allow this path to continue
and mislead us,
and mislead with a sense of we're going to fix things and have it never quite come about, than go after the solutions, which is why there needs to be a movement such as
Lenny,
HipHop Republic.
You know what? Excuse me, Lenny, but don't you feel that that's on both sides? I think that's what's frustrating.
Yes, I do.
You know, because our government for the last 12 years, truly, to me, has been waffling on both sides. You know, I feel that you can't really put the finger on anybody, like you're saying, or any one particular group. I do want to enjoy this historic moment. A moment that I feel that perhaps maybe I had a part in, although I really don't believe in.
Did you vote?
In it, yeah, of course.
You had a part in it. You had a part in it.
Yes, and yeah.
You might have to take responsibility for that later too. So remember.
Well,
that.
you know what? I'm already past all that, because you know what? The fact that I knew in my lifetime that this would happen, I'm satisfied. I just hope that all of us can rally up behind this president.
Well,
as we did with Bush, and I did not vote for Bush, but I supported what he had to do.
Two different things. I want to ask Lenny about that too, because first of all, Lenny's obviously a person from his past who has great pride in his heritage and in himself.
Sure.
And I think as African Americans, we all want to celebrate the moment of an African American president.
And I did.
And we do. But now the question becomes, how long do we stay within just that? We all want to celebrate that. I noticed you recently had that comment about Tavis Smiley, that you supported his, what some take as a criticism, saying that we have to be held accountable as black leaders. Where's the black leaders that are going to push the president, stay on him to do things? And you made that stand. But you know, so it's obviously you as an African American, you wanted that moment too, and we celebrated it. Well, but how long?
If you look, for example, when he won the Democratic nomination, before I went out to Minnesota to cover the Republican National Convention, I wrote a piece called Magnificence, and it basically talked about the glow of the night of his acceptance speech. That's African American pride. And there's chapters in the book, and basically the book is broken into two sections. And I'm going to get to that, and I'll get to why I'm bringing that up. The first section is 365 days worth of quotes that I've experienced, that I've given, or that other people have said to me over the course of my time doing things over the last year. Okay. But the second half is 44 articles that talk about what it was like to be a black Republican during this Obama experience. And there are several of those pieces that say
44
thank you.
articles.
I might have to read this.
Now, your book consists of blogs,
you have them up on the
You have different blogs.
Yes, I write for different online sites.
And so that's what you did. You took all that information that
no.
I mean, how did you create the book?
Well, the book was mostly, a lot of them are original pieces, because there are some things I wrote on my site. There's some things I wrote specifically for the book. There's some things that I published out there previously or have been unpublished. So it's not just necessarily grabbing stuff from online. But within the book, back to Mario's point, there are certainly things in there that say, look, thank you. And I actually use his full name. Thank you, Barack Hussein Obama, for stimulating black America to have more political pride in this. There ain't nothing wrong with using a man's name and trying to use that as a slur. So you even in that regard, I made it a point to make sure he got praised. But with that said, I also, in the same book, was able to say, look, February 2009, the first Black History Month in American history where we have a black president, and we ain't hear too much from you at all. How come we didn't hear that much from you at all? We had this huge celebration for the inauguration. How come we couldn't have one night where the First Lady and or you celebrated Black History Month with a black president? How come we have heard you do more to push for the Chicago Olympics that summer than we did hear you say anything about Darian Albert until there was criticism from people such as myself before you said something about Darian Albert? How come the first executive order that you put into play was to send money overseas to abort brown and black babies across the world, but then you took money away from D.C. children from the voucher program, or you took money away from the HBCUs that was funded by George W. Bush.
Danny,
there needs
people screamed.
Some
people screamed about that
we
too.
We got to have that level of criticism and be able to say, and this is the thing, and this goes back to what I put in the poster and other things, you have to be able to say it with respect, but you have to be able to say it with truth. And if you can't do both ways, you either ignore the problems or you exacerbate the backlash that's out there, because there is a backlash that's out there against a lot of African Americans, in particular African Americans in positions of power or public stance, because of President Obama's position in the White House.
Lenny, let's go to the family real quick. We have live chat going on our show, and Danny is always talking to the family. I mean, family, this is a different show today. What are they saying, Danny?
Well, just so you know, everybody's just showing up. We had some issues with live stream, so we'll come back to that. But we do have Leslie Bronx BB in the chat room.
Hi, Leslie.
And we have the GNN bureau chief,
Mackie
McAllister. You guys cousins. Anyways, we also have cousins. Norman.
Normie
is in chat, and I have like 12 others that
awesome.
Either they don't know how to jump in chat. You guys, if you need some help, just follow my instruction. Just come on in. But what it is everybody's just coming in.
Well, I will invite everybody. See, part of the thing that's still hard for everybody to gather is that they need to access the shows in a new way because of the whole new YouTube. So if you go to the packstereo.tv landing page, and I'll invite our own staff to try this too. Go to the packstereo.tv landing page and click on the particular item for that particular show and go there. Okay, we're having trouble with live stream. We told everybody that would be ending this week, really. So go to the individual show pages.
It's on the right-hand side.
And when you go there,
Shirley's,
HipHopRepublican.tv is where you want to go. We're going to start having live stream during the time of the taping, which is Fridays at 11:30 p.m. PST time. So make sure you watch HipHopRepublican.tv for all our shows, because we're going to be changing from Pack Stereo to HipHopRepublican.tv.
Well, we're and it actually, just so you know, it's working this morning. I actually will say that. That's the one thing that.
So proud of you.
The one thing that's working better is the simulcast to Hip Hop Republican TV today. It has been working since broadcast started. It's the other one.
That's so good. That's so good.
Oh, you happy now?
Okay, wait now. We can talk about the history of my man Lenny McAllister, who I love because I spent last night with him. Ladies.
Okay, stop trying to start on these rules.
It was fabulous. Put the camera right here.
I'm not
this man is married with children.
Thank you.
And as much as he might appreciate the notoriety.
Thank you, Marty.
It was fabulous.
I guess she don't.
Don't I look refreshed today? I'm refreshed because I have Lenny in the room.
This is why.
Okay, fast forward. We only got this only hour show. We can't go there. That's another show, by the way. We have morning coffee in the morning on HipHopRepublican.tv. We just want to let you guys know Pack Stereo has morning coffee and the sex TV show, which I'm not on that show. I'm
the relationship.
So you gonna rip mine.
Sex to have relationships.
Soft sell on my show. I got you. Cool.
But Republicans have great sex, don't you, Lenny?
Don't answer that.
Don't
answer that. As your advisor, do not answer that.
Tells me to give a shout out to my wife and then subsequently ask a question like that.
Well,
to see if I'm going to get a phone call. The thing is,
in order to have children, you have to have sex, and you do that, right?
I do have a child. I do have a 5-month-old.
So when you get home, you and your wife just get really spanky.
I'm sure in the eyes, they celebrate their marriage under the eyes of God.
There you go.
Under the eyes of God.
Spoken like a